Aliya, the Orphan Queen. Once upon a time, in the heart of an ancient forest, laid a little village called Dako. Life in Dako was simple and harmonious, with villagers living in tune with nature's rhythm. Among them was the Dogo family, known for their resilience despite the hardship they faced. Aliya, a bright-eyed girl of 10, was the last surviving child of the Dogo family. 2 years prior, a devastating cholera outbreak had swept through Dako, claiming many lives including her beloved brother, Ali. Their joyful days playing under the old baobab tree were now distant memories overshadowed by loss. Aliya's father, a brave hunter, did his best to care for his family after the tragedy. However, fate was unkind. One fateful night, while hunting deep in the forest, he was attacked by wild animals and never returned. The loss of her father was too much for Aliya's mother, who, heartbroken and weakened, passed away a few months later. Aliya was left alone, a young girl with nothing but her grief. After the death of her parents, Aliya was taken in by her uncle, Baba Samira. He was a prosperous trader, and his home was large and filled with the fruit of his labor. For a fleeting moment, Aliya believed she had found safety and stability. However, Baba Samira's wife, Amina, had a heart as cold as stone. She regarded Aliya as an unwelcome burden. Her disdain was evident in her every glance and word. Amina's daughters, Samira, Hajo, and Binta, were spoiled and indulged by their mother. They mirrored Amina's cruelty, treating Aliya as little more than a servant. From dawn until dusk, Aliya toiled with the most grueling tasks, scrubbing floors, washing clothes, fetching water from an old distant well. Exhausted and often hungry, she bore the brunt of Amina's harshness in silence. One evening, after an especially grueling day, Aliya dared to ask for more food. Amina's response was swift and cruel. "You think food is free?" she snapped, yanking the bowl away. "Greedy orphan, you deserve nothing." Aliya's stomach growled in protest as she retreated to her corner of the house. Tears streaming down her cheeks, she curled up in her thin mat, clutching her aching belly, wondering if she would ever know kindness again. Amina's cruelty seemed boundless. She took pleasure in mocking Aliya's bare feet, calling her the shoeless orphan in front of the village children. That really hurt, but Aliya remained silent, refusing to let her spirit break. Despite her harsh reality, Aliya found solace in small moments of beauty. She would sneak away to the edge of the village, where the river whispered secrets and the trees danced with the wind. There she sang softly, remembering the song her mother had taught her. One day, while at the river, she met an old woman named Nana Kofi. Known for her wisdom and kindness, Nana Kofi noticed the sadness in Aliya's eyes and called her over. "Child, why do you weep?" Nana Kofi asked gently. Aliya, her voice shaking, told her story. The old woman listened carefully, her eyes full of compassion. "You have a strong heart, Aliya," she said. "Even the darkest night will end and the sun will rise again. Remember, the brightest stars shine in the darkest skies." Nana Kofi had moved into the community many years ago when she was much younger, accompanied by her husband and daughters. After her husband passed away, her daughters were all married and had families of their own, leaving Nana Kofi to live alone. Despite her solitude, she became a pillar of strength and wisdom in the village, offering guidance to those in need. Nana Kofi's word gave Aliya hope. She began to find small ways to defy Amina's cruelty. She would hide small pieces of bread for herself and accept secret kindness from villagers who pitied her. One evening, Baba Samira noticed the bruises on Aliya's arm and how thin she had become. His heart ached for her. "Amina," he said, "you are too harsh on Aliya. She's just a child." Amina's face twisted with anger. "You care more for this orphan than your own children," she yelled. "She will not stay here and ruin our family." Baba Samira was torn between his love for his wife and his duty to his niece. He knew he had to do something. but time was running out. One night, under the full moon, Aliya overheard Baba Samira and Amina arguing. "We can't keep her here," Amina hissed. "She will bring us nothing but trouble." "She is my blood," Baba Samira replied. "I will not abandon her." Amina's response was chilling. "If you won't do it, I will." Fearing for her safety, Aliya decided to run away. She packed a small bundle and slipped into the night, her bare feet silently carrying her to the river. But Amina had followed her. As Aliya reached the river bank, Amina appeared from the shadows. "You think you can escape?" she exclaimed. Just as Amina raised her hand to hit Aliya, a figure stepped out of the darkness. It was Nana Kofi, calm and strong. "Leave the child alone," she said. Amina hesitated, fear replacing her anger. "She is nothing but trouble," Amina spat. "Bah! She is a child of Dako. She deserves our protection," Nana Kofi replied. "Go home, Amina. Reflect on the darkness in your heart." Defeated, Amina left, leaving Aliya trembling but safe. Nana Kofi took Aliya's hand and led her back to the village, promising to talk to Baba Samira. The next morning, Baba Samira and Nana Kofi talked for a long time. Baba Samira realized how cruel Amina had been and made a tough decision. He sent Amina to her parents' home to reflect on her actions. Baba Samira hugged Aliya with tears in his eyes. "I failed to protect you, my dear Aliya. But I promise, from now on, you will never face such cruelty again." With Nana Kofi's help, Aliya began to heal. Her laughter returned like rain after a long drought. Baba Samira, now more caring, made sure she was well fed and even bought her a pair of shoes. Days became weeks, weeks became months, and months became years. Aliya grew into a hard-working, young, beautiful woman. She helped her uncle with his trading business, her sharp mind and her hard work bringing success to their endeavors. One evening, as the sun set and painted the sky in beautiful colors, Aliya went to the stream to fetch water. She moved gracefully, her thoughts on the day's tasks and her future. As she knelt by the water, a handsome young man approached. He looked kind and noble, and Aliya had never seen him before. "Good evening," he said warmly. "Good evening," Aliya replied, a bit weary but polite. "Are you lost, sir?" The young man laughed softly. "No, not lost, just enjoying the evening." Unknown to Aliya, this young man was the crown prince of the kingdom, disguised to take walks without being recognized. He had heard about the beauty of Dako and its people and wanted to see it for himself. They talked for a while, sharing stories. Aliya spoke of her dreams and her work with her uncle. The prince, captivated by her intelligence and grace, felt a strong connection with her. The prince, whose name was Sanusi, continued to visit the stream every evening. He and Aliya grew closer, their conversations filled with laughter and shared dreams. Aliya had no idea she was talking to the prince, but she felt drawn to him. One day, Sanusi confessed his feelings. "Aliya, I have never met anyone like you. Your strength and kindness have touched my heart." Aliya blushed, unsure of what to say. "You are very kind, Sanusi. I feel the same way about you." Their bond grew stronger with each passing day. Aliya's life, once filled with hardship, now seemed brighter with Sanusi by her side. One evening, as the sun set, Sanusi took Aliya's hand. "Aliya, I have something important to tell you." Aliya looked at him, her heart pounding. "What is it, Sanusi?" "I am not just a traveler," he said gently. "I am Prince Sanusi, the heir to the throne of the Dakasi kingdom." Aliya gasped, pulling her hand away. "You are the prince? But why did you not tell me?" "I wanted you to know me for who I am, not for my title," Sanusi explained. "I fell in love with you, Aliya, not because you treated me as a prince, but because you treated me as a friend." Aliya was stunned. She had never dreamed she would fall in love with the prince, but her feelings for Sanusi were real and deep. "I love you too, Sanusi," she whispered. Sanusi smiled, his eyes full of joy. "Aliya, will you marry me and become my queen?" Aliya's heart soared. "Yes, Sanusi, I will marry you." Their love brought joy to the kingdom, and preparations for the royal wedding began. Aliya's uncle, Baba Samira, and Nana Kofi were overjoyed to see her find happiness after years of hardship. They supported her with love and blessings as she prepared to become the queen of Dakasi. On their wedding day, Aliya wore a gown woven with threads of gold, her smile radiant as she exchanged vows with Sanusi. They vowed to rule with kindness and compassion, ensuring that no one in the kingdom would suffer as Aliya once suffered. As Aliya took her place by Sanusi's side, she looked out at the faces of her people, her heart full of hope for the future. She had come a long way from the orphan girl with bare feet, but she would never forget the lesson she had learned along the way. The power of kindness, the strength of resilience, and the beauty of love. And as she looked back on her journey, she knew that every twist and turn had led her to this moment, to her true destiny as the Queen of Dakasi. The end.